Kosuke from Mobile Geeks, and here I am at Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall in Taipei, and I'm filming this right now with the front-facing camera of the Sony Xperia Z1. So that's Sony's flagship device, and today we're going to be reviewing the pint-sized version, the Sony Xperia Z1 Compact. So this is a 4.3-inch smartphone versus a 5-inch smartphone on the Z1, which is the flagship device. Now, what I love about this phone is because it's 4.3 inches, it is totally usable with one hand, which is really great for a person who drops phones.
The Sony Z1 Compact's 4.3-inch 720p display bears the triluminous branding. Under the hood, we have a Snapdragon 800 processor at 2.2 GHz. It comes with 2 GB of RAM and 16 GB of internal storage, which is expandable by microSD card. Around the back, we have a 20 megapixel camera with LED flash, and on the front, a 2 megapixel shooter. It also comes with a 2,300 mAh battery. On the left edge are all the main ports: SIM card, microSD, and micro USB, all hidden behind waterproof doors. You've also got a magnetic charging port for use with Sony's charging station. Like its big brother, the Compact is waterproof and dust resistant. So since I'm filming this review with the Z1, which is also waterproof and dust resistant, I decided to take the phone to the hot spring, bring it into the hot spring with me, and, well, do some filming of it working underwater. But if you're wondering exactly how the Z1 Compact is waterproof, there's some huge rubber seals on these flaps. The glass panel on the other Z series phones has been changed for a traditional glossy polycarbonate rear. The Compact is straight up plastic, and it definitely feels different. If you've held the S4, it's kind of like that. Out in the bright sunlight, when we check out the viewing angles, we can see that they're not great. I would definitely recommend an anti-glossy foil for this device.
So the thing that I do like about this phone is down on the bottom I can kind of tuck it into the cushy part of my hand there, and I can still reach up and grab the notification bar. I mean, I can easily navigate this phone, handle it, see my pinky around the bottom kind of bracing it, so I really feel like I'm not going to drop it.
So like I mentioned before, I am filming most of this review on the Z1, so the cameras are identical. It's actually a look at some sample footage from the Z1 Compact.
So here we are in Yanmingshan, just north of Taipei, about like 20 minutes north of Taipei. So this is where the hot spring is. This is actually the source of the hot spring. So I'm doing a bit of walking. You can see what the stabilizer looks like. And so this is actually one of the pools where they collect the water for the hot spring. I wish this was a scratch and sniff because it smells like sulfur.
One of the other amazing features of this phone is the battery life. You can use it all day, aggressively, and you can still have some percentage left over at the end of the day. So I'm talking 2 hours on the MRT, watching a lot of videos, and I made it the entire day. If I really didn't use my phone and I forgot to charge it, that's okay. Maybe midday the next day I can get around to charging it. As we've come to expect from Snapdragon 800 phones, the Compact performs excellently. The UI is fast and responsive, it's really smooth, and you really can't complain about anything to do with performance. And the Adreno 330 GPU combined with the low resolution of the display means that you have plenty of power for gaming. And since it's running the Snapdragon 800, the benchmarks are really competitive.
So what are the things that I don't like about this phone? Well, I like that the power button is placed halfway up so that you can easily kind of grab it and touch it. But something that I have found over the course of this review is that sometimes I'm pressing the power button and nothing happens. But then you kind of look on the forums, and this is actually a complaint that is around with a lot of Sony handsets, that sometimes the power button does get a bit finicky. Now, another thing that did happen is that when this was underwater, afterwards, the display does take a little bit of kind of, I guess, touching to kind of get back to where it was before. I think is that when a phone becomes submerged, the pressure on the display is different, right? So it's kind of being pressed on the entire thing. So I think that it just does take a minute to kind of recalibrate the display after the phone's been submerged.
And the only other thing that I can think of that's a big negative on this phone is that it's not scratch proof and it does kind of scuff up really easily, so you will need to put a protection foil on the front and the back.
Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed that. A lot of this was filmed on the Z1, so you can get a good idea of what the Z1 compact camera is capable of, because they have used the same camera with the same sensors in both handsets, which I think is awesome. I'm totally a fan of this phone, especially the size. You won't find another 4.3-inch device on the market that fits into one hand nice and easily, that has powerful specs, that has a big camera. I'm totally in love with it. And so far, no other manufacturer has had the balls to make a 4.3-inch device that they haven't kind of pussied out on the specs. So it's nice to see Sony taking a stand and saying just because it's smaller doesn't mean it has to be less powerful. There's a lot of double entendres in that sentence. Woo! I'm Nicole Scott from Mobile Geeks. Please like this video, please subscribe to our channel, and please let me know if you liked the format. I'm always keen for feedback on how my videos are going, especially when I try new shit like this.